Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legends of Arcadia Genesis, Episode 7. How are you all doing today? It's been a long time.
Well. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute. Most of you got solo sessions, but even those feel like a million years ago.
Did someone not get a solo session?
Yeah.
I didn't take one.
Oh.
Dude is dead.
We need a Rayquan prequel.
Maybe.
Well, we'll
I feel
squeeze
like
that
the
in
Rayquan
somewhere.
prequel might be a little boring based on the way I have envisioned this character. But maybe
Is there a
don't know,
prequel
mate.
though, considering there is no history?
You could just
That's true. That's true. The prequel was 3 days ago.
Well, I don't want to tell you how to
born.
play your character, Greg, but if
Wow, I'm a bard.
if Kale was like a university lecturer transported into this universe, can't you actually just be Rayquan? Transported
Oh
from
God,
1994.
no! Because now I have to affect the speaking and mannerisms of a black man, and that's not going to go well.
Yeah, your Russian
And,
accent's
like,
upsetting off people if you start doing that.
Yeah, and like
That's
I don't
gonna work
actually
in
know much Wu-Tang, right? Like this
Yeah.
is not a great. It was a much better role play only reference until I realized I'm a bard named Rayquan, and I should maybe know some Wu-Tang.
Yeah. Neil,
gonna
what's how's your knowledge of New York black culture in the 90s? Can you accurately capture that setting?
Everything I know about that I learned from Dave Chappelle, so no. So no.
Wait,
I want to say there's a good documentary about the Wu-Tang Clan. I think there's one out there.
weren't
sure
they
there is.
frequent guests
watch
on
that.
Chappelle's show? Or was
Absolutely.
Was it
And
just ours? And you still didn't get the Rayquan reference?
no, because he'd just say things
It might
about
always
the
have been,
Wu-Tang
like,
Clan, and there'd be
RZA
people on
and-
stage, and I'd be like, all right, what the fuck's
Okay,
going on?
yeah.
I don't know.
Diversify your bonds.
Yeah. The what do you call it? The racial draft. That's one of the better skits out there.
It is. It's a good skit.
Mm-hmm. Good. So clearly, there's a new character at the table. Why don't we introduce our new character, Ray Quan?
Hi, I'm Rayquan. I don't know how much introducing we want to do in game. I am playing a bard. My envisionment of this is that he's a bard that has been around for however long he's been made for Malchus, and he's charming and excellent at playing his lute, and he drinks and parties, and maybe he owns his own bar. Maybe he just stumbled into one and considers it his, who knows. And now he's kind of bored. It's too easy. He can charm the pants off whoever he wants, and he can get drinks for free, and he can make money, and he just wants some danger in his life. He wants some excitement. He's looking for something to get the blood boiling, and that's the character that I'd like to bring to the table.
Did Malchus create you, or perhaps did Jexel conjure you to bartend the common the tavern that he made for us?
Well, the funny thing is, I took cooking parentheses bartending as my proficiency, so like maybe I am just the bartender.
Were you conjured into existence with the tavern?
Yeah.
Is that just a coincidence? Because in Wu-Tang, Rayquan was known as Rayquan the Chef.
It is in fact a coincidence. I sadly don't know much Wu-Tang. This is not a Wu-Tang reference. This is a role play reference.
I don't. Did Rayquan actually cook, or was he just dishing up hot rhymes?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but you know.
We are so white. This is
Amazing. Yeah.
I thought this would be a much more fun troll of Neil, and now it's becoming the Greg actually doesn't know classic hip hop.
When you troll so hard, you troll yourself.
All right. Well, our party is gathering together in Acropolis. You've all been out on your various adventures. I don't think anyone's adventure actually ended up with them back in town. And we're going to start at the beginning of summer, which is June 24th, which is when Malchus leaves the world and Astaire begins his descent into the world. So Malchus is gone. Astaire is coming on in, but not quite here. Martha is here. Verasi is gone. And there's a bunch of other gods, but who gives a shit about them?
Can we spell June in this universe Jun?
No.
Yes.
No. All right.
Yeah. No.
At least in this town. All right.
The month of June.
That's where it got the name, right?
That is not how I got the name. I actually looked up a character in Japanese and I romanized it.
Oh, I was making.
I was a little
how-
full weeb.
I was making a joke about the calendar month. And got the name.
I know. Okay.
Sorry.
We're starting off strong this one. I like it.
Session. Good session, guys. All right, we are in Acropolis, and coincidentally, you are all hanging around at the same outdoor cafe, maybe outdoor bar. I'll kind of let you guys describe the location.
How is
that
it
you're
outdoor
in.
in the winter?
It's summer.
The summer.
Or sorry, yeah, but the bar started in the winter.
I mean, mulled wine.
Really
it's like
good
a Christmas,
heaters.
It's like a Christmas bar.
Oh, there's,
have, like,
there's
they have the
indoor
tents,
and
yeah,
outdoor
with-
seating.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like
Okay.
a little fence outside, and now that the weather is warm, they like drag out the tables and chairs, and the big doors open up inside. They're like French doors, so they can open, and you can walk freely in and out as you will. The gods just thought ahead and figured you'd need some outdoor seating in the summer, so they built the bar with that. And we're gonna do this. So where is Lag? Ryan, what is the name of this restaurant, bar, cafe type place that you're at?
The Great Hall.
Ooh, that's actually
Nice.
a good name.
Outdoor hall.
Well, there's indoor and outdoor seating.
Yeah.
Indoor
I'm glad
outdoor
you named
hall.
it.
We touched on it briefly in my solo session. I was kind of imagining it as like a big one-room longhouse kind of situation on the inside. Like the long wooden
Wait,
tables.
well, that's our house, right? I
Rayquan-
thought that's
yeah,
our house.
yeah, and then in the back there's like a half dozen private rooms that we occupy.
Yeah, but we're in a that's a bar in Acropolis, right?
Oh,
Different
we're in
place.
Acropolis.
Yeah.
How did we get to Acropolis?
Neil,
I thought we
is that
were
what you
in
said?
our.
I said
our
we're starting
bar.
in Acropolis. Yeah.
Okay, then maybe we should roll. I don't. Now I'm confused.
All right,
Oh,
Ryan, you
this is
failed
going
me.
so well.
Greg, what is the name of the restaurant, cafe, bar that has outdoor seating in Acropolis in the summer?
It's
That-
called the Fallen Star.
Ooh, okay, the Fallen Star.
It's
Love
school
it.
all over again.
What happened in
Failing.
your school?
No, I'm just saying, it's like when you have one of your pupils and they want to say something and they're terribly wrong, and you're like,
accusing.
Got it. All right. The
and you're
Fallen
like,
Star.
it's nice one, Ryan. Please sit back down, Greg. What about the bar name?
Oh my god, that's the perfect name. Nick, you killed it.
Yeah. Quote the old dirty bastard. Yeah, that's a better name.
Well, Nick, it's your turn to decide. Is this a bar, a restaurant, a cafe? What is the nature of this establishment?
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility. So we more bothered about eggs Benedict on a Sunday, or no? I think it's a bar, Neil. I think it's like a tavern, a German beer hall.
Oh my god.
That's what I was
okay,
imagining, but I thought it was
wow.
our house. I thought we lived in the German beer hall.
That would have been sick. Yeah.
Right? What are we doing in Acropolis?
Get
How did
your
I get
accordions
here?
and your lederhosen, everyone.
Who summoned me?
Oh my, no, don't. Just don't. No, we're not getting any later. I wasn't around here.
It's all Bavaria. That's all Germany is across the whole board.
Thank you.
I get
Thank
it.
you.
Okay, and Faye, who is the proprietor of this establishment?
Oh my god. Well, it's a German beer hall. Whew. I want to say it's a woman. Let's
Brunhilde.
call her. No, that's too German. Let's call her Magda. Because it's hard to
Magda?
pronounce. Yes,
That's very un-German
Magda.
name.
Oh, Magda. Okay.
Yeah, Magda.
Yeah,
Let's call her Magda.
Magda, the owner. Wonderful. And Sean, Magda, the owner here. Describe her for me. What is this woman like?
So have you seen the portrait of Neil as a barmaid?
100%. Yeah.
I
It has to
think
be.
she has a disfigured leg that was disfigured when she was conjured into existence, and she's still very bitter about the god who made her because, like, the fuck.
Nice.
Love it. All right, that actually folds
Wait.
extremely well into
You
her.
need to ask Greg something.
Greg.
Into the bar that you failed at.
Yeah, he got the
kind
fallen
of
star.
Oh wait, what did Ryan pick then?
I failed.
Ryan
I
lost
thought-
his turn.
Oh yeah, that Ryan failed
was
at.
playing his character and failed the gods.
It's fine. He hasn't slept in a month. It's acceptable. It's acceptable.
That's acceptable.
Yeah. So you guys are hanging out at this place. You've all sort of come trickling back in one at a time. And the last person to join your table is going to be our new friend Raekwon, who is coming on in. And Raekwon, tell me, why is it that you end up sitting at the table with these 4 others?
Oh, well, because they're interesting, of course. Like, seriously, we have a guy with bloody wings on his back, literal bloody wings on his back. We have a woman with no shoes and a goat skull, right? We have a person walking around with literal feet around his neck and a giant flail and a boring person. But, you know, interesting people have interesting friends.
I like how you say no shoes and a goat skull. Like the no shoes is somehow equal to the goat skull or even more because it's the first thing, you know?
Well, if you're wearing a goat skull, would you really wear shoes?
Yeah.
Doesn't it go without saying?
Just appreciate how they're on the same level here.
Oh, very much so.
So, does Abaddon have halfling feet around his neck?
Tiny little halfling feet.
They've been
Reduced.
shrunken-headified.
They've been
Abhorrent.
shrunken,
Is
yeah.
that your holy symbol or something?
No, I've got an actual holy symbol.
Yeah.
These halflings' feet do
just
nothing. I've been
decoration.
lied to.
They give you
get
luck.
to reroll a single dice.
They give you good luck.
I was told I'd get advantage in every roll.
Every
No
roll?
advantage. That's what I was told.
That was what he asked for.
That's what he
Wow.
asked for.
Wow. Wow, what a god, Jexel. What a piece
Yeah.
of shit. So the 5 of you are sitting down. You all know each other, and then this guy, I should say the 4 of you are sitting down. You all know each other, and then this guy comes over, and he's super interested in what you're doing. And he sits at your table, asks to sit at your table. How do you approach
I
it?
think I
Greg?
just pull a chair up. I do that thing where I spin the chair around so that like I have the back and I just straddle the back and lean into the table. Like, oh, hello, interestings. When did you walk into my bar?
Your bar.
Of course.
You seen this guy
Might as
before,
well be
guys?
mine. I don't pay the bills on it, but it's as mine as much as anyone else's.
Can't
I
say I
thought this was
remember.
Magda's bar.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. She's a wonderful woman. I bring the entertainment. Anyway, enough about me. What in the world are you doing here?
I don't recall. Someone must have summoned me.
Don't listen to him. He's weird. We're just sitting
Well, that's
here,
exactly what I'm looking for.
It's been a hard couple of weeks, my friend, let me tell you. And I think all of us here deserve a drink to relax.
Oh, perfect. I make excellent drinks. Hold on, let me get a good look at you all. All right, sit here. Think about what's interesting about you. I'll be back in a moment. I disappear behind the bar for just a second and begin, like, mixing up drinks. I keep peeking back, looking at you, trying to get a good gauge of what you're like, what you might want. And I come back with a platter of drinks, and I'm like, all right, for the boring one, hard scotch. You look like a nightmare of a person, all dark and stormy. Here you are, good lady. For you, Bloody Mary for a bloody wings. And, oh, my goodness. We call this hair of the dog. It's just ale, I'm sorry.
What's your
We shall
relationship?
drink our assigned drinks. Sorry.
What's your relationship with Magda here?
I think that
Raekwon?
Magda tolerates my presence because I am an excellent bard, right? Like, I bring in big tips when I play, and I basically just make this place mine. Also, I'm charming enough that when I piss her off or whatever, I can placate it and play it off. And I think that it's one of those, like, fine, yes, do your thing, Raekwon.
Or do you have instruments on your back or something?
I do. There's a piano in the corner of the bar that seems to be the property of the bar, but strapped to my waist, I have a reed flute, and I also have a lute on my back.
One thing you noticed when you went behind the bar to grab all the stuff for these people to drink is that you like poured out the last bit of scotch. And when you went to make the ale, like you had to tilt the keg all the way up to get like the last bits out. And it's apparent to you behind the bar that the bar is just about out of booze. And that is going to be the impetus for Magda to come on over here after you pass everyone their drinks with her like hobbling disfigured leg, put her hands on her hips, and look down at you and go, Raekwon.
Oh, come on. You know my name.
I do, sweetie. I do. As you can see, the booze is basically gone. And we're about to have a small riot on our hands when I finally make the announcement. I know this seems sort of childish and petty, considering, you know, all the events of the world, the ogres in the valley, the horse lords in the south, the weird things that come out of the mountains, those odd shrieking sounds we've been hearing. But it would really help us if you could maybe pull some weight around here and resupply us with some level of booze. I hear that the people in Hearthhome have copious supplies. Great brewers.
Another
Is this a
booze
shenanigans
run?
episode?
Oh
always a
no,
little.
I promise you there'll be no shenanigans. I've done plenty of booze runs.
So,
They're so boring, Magda. Can't we get something
Eh,
exciting?
Neil, did you have a big session planned, or can one of us just cast a water to wine spell?
You can just cast a water to wine spell if you want.
Do we have
Yeah,
access to it?
I'm gonna do the Metamorphose liquid
Oh, yeah,
because
there you
I'm
go.
gonna need
Oh,
my
yeah,
scotch on
just there.
this.
Quest completed.
Hand over the XP, Neil.
All right. You throw down a spell. You create how much wine out of your
Well,
little
it
sample?
sounds like Kale can metamorphose liquid and just
I believe I can do up to
everything.
3 gallons. Let me check. Or
A
actually,
day,
hold
right?
on. Oh no, I think it's way more. I think it's a cubic foot per level. Let me.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So none of my cheap communion wine. We can do. He can just restock the scotch.
That's like
Alright, so
64
metamorpho-
pounds of liquor at a time.
It's a cubic foot per level, so I can do up to 3 cubic feet of
Great.
whatever liquid. Which I guess for like ale isn't actually that much, but for the stronger stuff is gonna be.
Or for like really nice
That's a lot.
scotch, you might like depreciate the value of it by creating too much.
Do you need like a sample of what you're trying to create? We could like save a
Yes,
little bit.
I do.
Yeah,
But I do have a
glass.
sample of scotch.
Yeah, you're drinking
Does
it.
the
Nice.
consistency transfer? Like, could you create 3 cubic feet of like lattes, or like some kind of like mixed drink, right? That's like frothed or like it's got crushed ice in it. Could you make margarita?
I think
and
you'd
I
have to
still have
add
the
the ice in
texture.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
because that's like a
very well.
solid within a liquid, you know?
Well, okay, so here's what they say in some of their examples. It can be like water, wine, blood, oil, apple cider, sorry. It went to another line and I got a little confused there for a second.
Can you make quinces?
You would appreciate them.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, it could be something syrupy because I can do magical liquid, or I can do like magical potions. It's something I can convert. So
Wait,
I
you
don't
can
know
make
if I can do
magic.
something
You
with
can
like
make.
taste, but I could probably do something with froth.
You can make 3 cubic feet of magic potions.
What?
No, it
sounds
has to be a
pretty
non-magical
dope.
liquid in the end, but I can convert magical liquids.
You can
So you
convert
could-
potions into beer.
Yes,
That
I can
is a
destroy-
truly
well,
good
so the other
idea.
thing I can do with it is I can destroy potions, right?
Ah, nice.
Well, you offer to solve these problems and use a sample of your magic to do so right away. Magda is flabbergasted by your abilities. Will go behind the bar and hand you 100 gold because you have produced, well more than 100 gold worth of scotch for her in this moment. Whoa. Pats you on the shoulder and says, "Thank you. What was your name, friend of Raekwon?"
I'm like, I think like my notes are just like scattered across a full third of the table, and everyone else is like awkwardly scrunched together with the remaining table space. I like go back to scrubbing my hands. And like, what? Oh, it's just Kale.
Kale. Wonderful. Thank you. You're one of the people in the Guardians, right?
Yeah.
I knew they were interesting.
Don't you know these people, Raekwon? These
No,
are
I
the
just
folks
met
who
them.
they're the Guardians of the Valley. Most of them. I think one of them's missing. They kept the ogres at bay, which is why we've been hearing about them, but we haven't actually seen too much of these things. Maybe you can get some stories out of them.
I probably could. Maybe we could write our own.
she hobbles away. Goes back to tending her bar. And the five of you can sit here peacefully for a moment. Malchus, gone from the world. What is the conversation at the table now that you've been introduced to Mr. Quan? Are you comfortable with this new character, Nyx? This, like, charming, outgoing, gregarious person who's all happy and the exact opposite of you?
I think Nyx is just looking at her cards and quietly thinking to herself, look at the most boring person solving your very boring problem, right? Because Kel was just called boring a second ago. I think Nyx has not been talking much since we came back together. I think she has a bad feeling. You know, when you've had a really long time of fight, and then there's a time of peace, but you can't shake this lingering feeling that something bad is about to happen. And she's had a bad feeling for a while. I think she's trying to figure out if it's coming from Raekwon, but I don't think she quite believes it. But I think she's a little bit like eyeing Izual and giving Izual a little bit of a stinky eye. As they're sitting on the table, you know, she just looks at the cards and sometimes looks up at them, then looks back at her cards again.
So everyone is, you know. Oh, sorry, Faye.
No, but she's fine with Raekwon. It's like most people are nuisance anyways, right? It's not their fault. It's just how life is.
Yeah. So Izual has returned from their adventures with a red-leafed wreath about their head. And a horse, which I guess is tied up nearby. Have we already like recapped what went on? Because I think
No, but this would be a great time to tell your friends what went down.
well maybe. I mean, I think Izual would have come in a rush, trying to make it in time for the battle that they missed. And I think this already happened. I don't know. This is probably a couple hours ago. Riding through Acropolis and bumping into the three of them, and discovering that they're too late. And
Yes,
June is already dead, but it sounds like his sacrifice drove the ogres back.
months too late.
So I think before Raekwon showed up, there was like a recap of what I missed.
How we
But,
lost the battle.
that was all in the
Which was
flashback.
destroyed.
To an hour ago.
Yeah, so as Raekwon is like, you know, sitting with his backwards on this chair, looking around to each person in the eye, not getting any responses, like Abaddon's like leaned back on his chair with his like feet on the table, and he's like picking dirt out of his suspiciously long nails. He looks around the table, he looks at Kale, like going through his notes and like flicking his hair out of his face. He looks over to Nyx, who's like staring at her tarot cards with like a worried look on her face, and Izual looking down at the floor, somberly considering the effects of his actions and missing the battle. Abaddon sighs, like kicks down from the table and says, well, Raekwon, for one, I'm glad you're here. It's at least somebody to talk to. The rest of these three, they don't say much. Take themselves far too seriously, if you ask me.
Oh, well, I can fix that. I'm an excellent mood changer. Anyway, what's your story? You're so interesting. I just never meet people like you around here.
Oh, well, we are unique. Oh, shit. Well, I've got a story for you. You know, I was traveling to that town, Hearthhome, a couple of weeks back, actually, and I was accosted on the road by bandits, would you believe?
Oh,
And the fuckers
no.
had off with my gold and all my possessions. And I've got a feeling that they travel those roads often. I was kind of looking forward to a trip back there. Maybe we could run into them. Get some
Oh, that
just-
sounds right up my alley. You know, I bought a sword recently. I could go swing it around a bit, help you out. What do you say?
Yeah, well, a sword's better than no sword, I suppose. You don't look...
Absolutely.
I look you up and down. You don't look up to much fighting. Have you even got any armor on there?
Oh, I have some leathers that I bought recently. Look, here's the deal. I can drink and party and do drugs, and there's a few fine maidens around here, but I need some adventure, man. I've been saving up. I've got the sword, I've got the leathers, I'm ready.
Not sure exactly what kind of adventure you're looking for with those leathers. We can do something with the sword. How about you three? And I like kick Kale's foot under the table, and then do the same to Nyx, so they both look up. You fancy a trip out of this place? You know, Malchus is gone. He's not watching, and between you and me, I'm not really sure he cares all that much.
No, he comes in here all the time. Doesn't seem to
No.
care much for anything.
Yeah, well, he's gone now. He's gone back up there.
Oh, that'll be a relief. Never tips that one.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, should we get out of here? I mean, not much else to do, is there? I think the ogres can look after themselves for a while. What do you say?
Sure, just one more question before we leave, huh?
Sure.
How come you get robbed of your possessions on the road, but you come back with a massive, fancy flail from that bandit trip?
Well, I found that on the way back. I got lost. I could show you if you like.
You found the flail?
Yeah, I found it in a cave.
Just like you found those feet.
Oh, these were a gift. So was the flail in a way.
Okay, well, I guess.
Yeah. But the bandits, that's the real story. Let me tell you, Raekwon, they were big, strong, hairy,
were they?
dangerous, aggressive. I barely escaped my life. If only my traveling companions had been with me, perhaps I'd have escaped my gold as well.
Oh, perhaps. Well, let's go get it back. Actually, tell me more. Let me compose a ballad. Any more details?
I think. Yeah, it was, the night was dark. The sun was just setting. They were traveling on a cart. I only noticed 2 of them at first, perhaps 4 or 5. But as they approached in the night, they seemed larger and larger. Bigger than any normal man should be. Strong too. Well armed. Their teeth glistening. I mean, their swords glistening in the night.
Ooh. Yeah.
They were
Excellent.
dangerous. They set
This will
upon me.
make a wonderful tale. Yes.
Israel sits up. Were they ogres?
No, men. Or something like men, at least. Spoke with a funny accent. I suppose they were from another town.
I'm going to lean towards Kale and I'm going to say, like, whisper. I'm going to say, I could have sworn he said Harry. Did he say Harry?
I think he said Harry.
I kick my chair back and I'm going to take a leak and I'll walk out the bar, Neil, and I look up to the night sky and I observe the moon. How far are we away from the full moon?
Quite far. The full moon was like a week ago today. So, you're 3 weeks out from the next one.
Great.
It's daytime, isn't it? Or is it night?
Oh, okay.
I thought it was daytime, but apparently it's evening,
You
and
can-
the moon
you can
is.
see
We've been there for a while.
You
yeah.
can see the moon during the day, especially if it's further far.
Yeah,
Actually, I
if a
don't-
week away, you would have to. God, does the moon follow the sun or lag behind the sun? I never remember. I think it gets further and further.
Usually
I think
the
you get,
moon is visible in like the early afternoon to evening, right? During the day. The moon's not usually available at like 10 in the morning.
Neil, your
It changes with
cosmology
the
doesn't
cycle.
have to mirror the Earth's. Is your
Yeah.
world even round?
I don't know, but I want to have an answer, and I'd rather just parallel the Earth so I don't have to remember. But I can't remember the Earth, so the moon is out. We'll say.
It doesn't matter. He can feel it in his loins.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Tell me, what does your loin say about the moon?
So reassured, I head back into the bar, and I guess
Well,
I'll go over
but so-
the barrel of scotch.
There's
to be
one.
honest.
There's a thing that you notice while you're out here staring at the sky. You see Clara's Shop of Wonders, kind of down the road, but you notice that the door is open and sort of hanging off its hinges, and there's some shattered glass in the doorway.
Okay. Well, I look back over my shoulder. I look up and down the street, and if there's no one else around, I will wander over there, I suppose.
Yeah, you can head on over, and it looks like the shop has been ransacked. Most of the things are missing from the shelves. What remains is sort of bland and uninteresting. Everything's been ripped apart. There have been like carvings made into it, probably by local youths who are here just to cause destruction and whatnot. But the place looks like it's been abandoned for some time, and all the things of value seem to be ripped and gone.
And you said this is Clara's Shop of Wonders, did you say?
Yes, the magician here, who you had been working with, you had done some jobs for, or you had brought back some components for, and who had been your primary, what would we call it, magic spell component distributor.
Quite important to us, then.
Yes.
So I shout around, Clara, are you here? I start moving around the shop.
There is
Calling out for
no
him.
reply, just sort of the echo of your voice bouncing around the room.
I walk casually back out and into the bar. Hey guys, seems those bandits I was talking about might be a little bit closer to home than I expected. Clara's shop. It's been ransacked. Dun dun dun.
Was that the bard or was that?
Yes, it was. I just got my loot out behind him. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, maybe we should have a look then, huh?
Yeah, it's just come and take a look. It looks like some of the local kids have been fucking around in there, but I doubt it was kids that did this. And I'll neck another scotch and sort of encourage everyone to get up and come with me.
All right. The whole party can head on over to Clara's Shop of Wonders and find it abandoned, ransacked. You do hear like a squawking screech from one of the back rooms, but that's about it.
Okay, as I walk around, Neil, I'm gonna do the puss, 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 puss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Puss, 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 puss.
Sure enough, a small cat kind of pokes its head out from the back door, from the door that goes into the back room, and gives you the like, I'm stopping my place and staring at you look.
I'll get out some food and I'll try feeding the cat.
Cat will meander over towards you, sort of slowly. You see it has a collar around its neck with a little tag.
What does the tag say?
You tell me.
Oh, it says Pan. Gotcha there, don't I? Yeah.
Is this cat outside of the?
Safest cat ever.
Inside, I
Safest
think,
cat
right?
ever.
Is it inside the looted shop?
Mm-hmm. Yes. You don't think I'd kill a cat named Pan?
Well, I want to see it. I'll carefully try to make friends with this cat. Try to scratch its little head.
Mm-hmm. It'll accept your scratches and mostly just devours whatever food you lay out before it. The rest of the shop seems to be empty, except for that, again, the occasional squawking from the back room.
Okay, I guess I'll go and investigate the squawking. I assume there's like a parrot or something, but...
Yeah, there's a crow in a cage, and there's a bunch of feathers on the ground. It looks like the cat has been harassing the crow, and it's like huddled in the very middle of the cage, squawking out occasionally.
Okay, can I open the cage?
Certainly.
I open the cage and we'll grab the crow and just throw it, walk through the shop with it and get to the door and just like throw it out and let it...
Yep, it takes wing and flies
Violence.
away. All right.
Nod to myself for a job well done. Turn back around.
West XP.
Steps back and out of the way of the flutter of wings and looks over to Nyx. Aren't crows some sort of omen?
I mean, they're not
Death
that.
fly on black wings.
Technically, I would say so, but for wizards, it's not uncommon to have a familiar, I think.
I turn to Raekwon and roll my eyes. See what I mean?
Izuel watches the crow fly away. Does it go anywhere in particular? Like off into the sky?
It'll fly up onto the spire of the nearby temple and park itself there for a little bit, observing the area below it.
So you said the shop looked ransacked and the front window is broken and there's
The
no
window and the door was off the hinges. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any passers-by in the street?
Mm-hmm.
We stop someone and be like, "You there? What happened here?" And point to the busted-up shop.
The woman you point at kind of gives you a shrug and says,
Or maybe
Been-
like a neighbor. Is there a shop next door or like a?
there's a shop next door. Yes. What do you call them? The chandler is next door.
Is that candles?
I believe so. Candle maker.
So I think I would have asked that person like okay,
Sure.
next door, chandler sweeping the floor or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
The chandler's here, and
What happened next door?
well, I don't know. Clara was here, and then I didn't see her for a while. And one morning, or one night, I heard a loud sound. And by the time I came out, the door was open, and there were some people rummaging around inside. I only have really candles in here, so nothing to fight them off with. But I told them to scram and hid back inside my shop. And Clara never returned. There was a guard posted out there to kind of keep people away for a little while, but if she's gone, they're not going to stick around forever, and she hasn't been back in months. I don't know if she left, if she's dead, if one of those damn deities pulled her out of existence or remade her, or what happened. But
Was Clara the one who was doing like the cocaine dealing for
Yes.
the party?
yeah,
Yes.
she was your coke
Nice.
dealer.
All right. Well, maybe good riddance. I don't know. As well, we'll go back to the party and relay.
Ryan lacks
They've
critical
just learned.
information.
Was there more to the drug running?
No. Yes.
I watched the prequels, so
Okay.
I have information you don't.
Okay. Well, I'll go back and report that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chandler next door heard a ruckus. This was months back. A guard was posted for a while. If we care for more information, we can go ask the guards what's going on. But
I mean, if the town guards couldn't figure it out, is it really our job?
I don't.
Although I
Oh,
suppose
but what
it's
if it's a
This might
mystery?
show and be a little cold.
All of these happenings seem rather petty compared to a looming army of ogres. Forgive me if I can't muster enthusiasm.
although
Well, if it is ogres you're worried about, I do still need to go to the far side of the dark forest.
Oh, that sounds fun. Professor, I didn't consider you to be the adventurous type.
Well, you gotta go hiking to get your notes.
Excellent. Wow. Who cares about the mystery of the missing magic shop owner? Let's go fight some ogres.
that said, though, we're all going to run out of spell components soon enough, and then we're going to wish that Clara was still here.
Why don't you take some with you?
They're all gone.
Are they
Look
all
to-
gone?
Yeah,
Every
look,
shelf of this place? Wow, I really was not paying attention.
I open a jar with a sticker that says Giant's Hair on it and turn it upside down. Shrug. Yeah, it's all gone. Kale, Nix, you still cast your spells, or?
I'm gonna rummage around a little bit. There's a lot of wizard components that are pretty valueless, right, Neil?
Certainly. Anything that has no value to regular folks is probably still here. So,
Yeah.
like, the bags of sand have probably been spilled over and mixed around, but you might be able to, like, pull some of the right colored sand out. If you need, like, a leaf, that might be around. But anything that could conceivably be useful has been snagged by someone.
Okay, I'm gonna clap my hands. Manfred!
And Manfred hurries on over. He has been shadowing you guys, sitting at the table next to you, taking notes, walking beside you as you go through the town, staying out of way, but always nearby.
Manfred, could you help us out and help collect some of these spilled up components and move them back to our house?
Absolutely, my lord. I will get right on it. And he starts
thank you,
rummaging around to steal the last of the components.
I swear, Kale. I whispered to him, what do you pay this guy?
Experience.
Basically nothing. TAs will practically work for free.
So what do you say, guys? Looking around. We let Manfred here collect this stuff. You want to go looking for bandits, or do you want to go trouncing through that forest?
Which direction were the bandits?
Towards Hearthhome,
Where's Hearthhome?
east out of Acropolis.
Is that where I just came from? Where have I even been, Neil?
You are from the deep south, or you have come from the deep south. You might have passed near Hearthhome. You could have gone by it if you wanted, or you might have just avoided it altogether. Your call.
Okay. Is that sound effect in the game, or do I have?
No, that is a sound effect being played through
do I have
Roll
moles
20.
loose in my house?
You have brown
It
creatures
was subtle
in your
enough
house.
that I was like, is that in my headphones? Is there like, do I need to go check outside really fast?
There are no brown moles to be found in the real world. I'm sorry. It's just
What's the state of the front? Were the ogres defeated?
No.
not really. They were kind of pushed back, and then everyone else got distracted. And maybe some of you guys have been back. I think Kale is probably the one who's been around the most. The rest of you have been out and about. Actually, that's not true. Nyx has also been around. So the two of you have probably seen your home the most recently. Once Vorossi left the world at the early of spring, it seemed like the ogre's interest in the valley waned pretty quickly. They would still come out,
and-
make the occasional raid of something, grab a sheep or whatnot. But they haven't been bloodthirsty like they were before.
Yeah, and I spent time among the ogres last time too, so I'm kind of relatively aware of their movements, I assume.
Yeah. While you're all standing around trying to figure out what to do, that crow takes a swooping dive at Nyx, trying to grab you by the hair and peck your skull.
Oh my god.
And the crows are pretty smart creatures, so they wait until you're not paying attention when it dive bombs you with a 13 to hit. I think
That
that's
is
a
a
hit.
hit.
Yeah, it lands, its feet dig into the top of your scalp, and it gives a nice strong peck at your head, pulling out some hairs and leaving a bit of a bloody spot for 1 point of damage before
Does it
taking
swoop
wing.
and flee, or does it latch onto her head for a moment?
Swoops, latches, pecks, and then takes off and flies.
So how fast can I respond to this?
Right? Can one?
Give me a D10.
I
If you
feel like-
roll anything but a 1, 2, or 3, I will let you respond in some way.
Okay.
Yes. So you don't see it coming, but you hear it as it lands, and you can make a reaction.
Sure.
Kale,
I'm just gonna color spray both of them.
roll me a D2,
What?
D6.
What? Rude.
For 3.
Yeah, you color spray them both. It looks like Nyx is the same level as you, so she doesn't get a saving throw, and they both pass out immediately. The crow hits the ground. Nyx just topples backwards and thuds on the ground as well.
There's no saving throw. What?
No saving throw.
That's what it is. Oh, nice.
Abaddon just starts pissing himself.
I think that you are joined very quickly by Raekwon. After the immediate stun of what just happened wears off, he just joins you in uproarious laughter.
Isabel picks the crow up by the feet and gives it a look over. It's just, is there any way to distinguish this from an ordinary crow?
Yes, it has
Really?
the tiniest little silver chain around its right foot with like a tiny little heart plaque attached to it dangling off. Like you might have on a collar for a cat, except, tiny for a crow. And there is only a single letter inscribed on that tiny little heart dangling from it, which I will let Kale tell us what the letter is.
Okay. Before I start looking into that,
Wait, why Kale? Can I not read it, or you just haven't decided?
Oh, I was just going to allow someone to tell us what the letter is. I was going to offload the work of figuring out names to player characters. You want to tell me what the letter is on the anklet of the crow?
Kale, what does this say? I can't quite read it.
Not all the plans work all the time, guys. Ryan, you can also tell me what the letter is.
I think he said it was a K, didn't he?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
K. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I have like my herbs that I carry with me. I'm gonna pull out something that something that I can rub on the head wound that I've probably exacerbated on
Mhm.
and tend to any injuries that the crow or myself may have had. It's hard to say, who caused the injury. We can just blame the crow, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When
A
do
couple
I
of
wake up?
D-
Like, for how long am I actually unconscious?
D6 rounds? D4 rounds?
Yeah, it was 3 minutes.
Mm.
So it's pet crow. How could you tell if it was a familiar? It would radiate magic or something, right? Or if it's like I don't know what else it could be.
Well, I could do detect magic, but
Do you
not
have
today.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I don't
Yeah,
actually have it. I forgot.
Probably same.
You haven't got it. I've got it, but I can't cast it till tomorrow.
Does Clara spell her name with a K? I ask around.
Sure.
I've
That's-
never seen her name.
Is there a name? Is there a sign over the shop?
It just says Shop of Wonders.
Okay. And is this heart just like a heart, or is it like a holy symbol kind of heart?
No, it's just like a little silver band with a K inscribed on it.
What are you getting at, Israel?
I'm wondering if this is Clara's bird. It's got a little silver K on its ankle.
Well, it was in a cage in her shop.
What if the bird itself is Clara?
I look to Raekwon. That's an interesting thought.
Oh,
You should put it back in the cage. Isabel goes into the shop and finds the bird's cage and puts it back in and takes the bird and the cage back outside.
So wait, this happened like months ago, right?
Yeah, but we've been in the
And
shop.
there's a living bird in that cage.
Yes.
Does the spot look like it's been reasonably well tended to? Like, if there's been a living thing here for 2 months, that it's going to be
Is
a
the
fucking
cage
mess
just
unless
like
somebody's
full
been,
of
like,
shit
cleaning it.
and like
Yeah.
The cage is
Have, like, an
indeed filled with shit, and there is no auto feeder. So you are right with your assessment. Someone must have been coming to at least feed the bird, but not clean out the cage.
Kale, Nix, do you guys remember Crow when you've ever been to the shop before? And I
I'm
rack
gonna
my
scratch-
memory.
I'm scratching the back of my head. I look over at Cal and say, what is wrong with you? What is
I'm
wrong
sorry,
with you?
Sorry, I had to act fast. I hope I didn't give you more
What
of
do
a
you mean
head
had to
wound than
act
you
fast?
got.
Just let the fucking bird go and don't, blind me. Maybe?
Look, it
bird-
only sometimes gives seizures. I figured you'd be okay.
Nix, don't be so insensitive. He's terrified of birds.
I'm the insensitive one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you guys remember a bird in Clara's shop when you ever been there in the past? If it was her familiar, then surely it would have been there the whole time.
Has anyone been into Clara's back room before?
Well, you said we heard the squawking from the main room, so...
no from the back room, right? We heard from the
were-
main room. You
Well, no,
heard the
we heard it from
squawking
the
in
main
the
room.
back room.
Yeah, so we might have heard the
So
squawking.
did
in
we
the
ever
past,
hear that before at any like prior visit?
No, you hadn't, but normally she keeps the back room shut. That's sort of her house and study and private area, and she tries to, separate personal and business life.
So if this is a familiar, what happens to familiars when the wizard dies?
I don't know. Does anyone have a spellcraft
They
proficiency?
return to monkey.
I
you
think
not
I do
write
actually
paper on that,
spellcraft.
Kale?
I
Does,
think I can spellcraft this.
Hey Neil, is there any crow food around?
Yes, there is a bag of corn, fairly near the crow,
Okay, so
dry corn.
Isabel takes a fistful and starts feeding the crow
It'll
as
happily
they
gulp.
walk across the street. Bird.
Is the
in
corn
cage.
tasty?
Does Raekwon ask that, or
Yes.
I don't know. Feel free to try some.
I pop a handful of corn.
All right, okay. All right, you little monster. Let's see what you were after. And Isabel walks with the crow in the cage across the street to the temple. Is Kale spellcrafting?
Yeah, can I spellcraft for the mechanics of familiars here, Neil?
Might
Yes.
also- Could you also identify a familiar with a successful check?
No, I
Not
failed.
With that.
Well then, solves that problem.
Okay. I know you changed the way local history works, but considering that as a bard class feature, I know local history and this is my locality, right? Just by talking to everyone around, do I perhaps know if people who knew Clara knew of this bird? Like, is this bird pet?
I think that's
familiar,
a great
well-known?
use of local history. Please
All
make
right.
me a local history check. How much do you
Awesome.
know about Clara?
Local history is charisma 0.
Good charisma check then.
So oh God, I have my roll dice on. I hate that. Okay, 30 on the roll dice. I gotta turn that off.
Nice. Sure enough, you know this is Clara's bird. In fact, she has had this familiar since she was created. It's definitely her wizard-like familiar, and you know its name is Corn
Okay.
with a K.
Like the band? I like it.
Nice. I let the party know. Like,
Oh, that's interesting.
don't you know? This is cool.
So,
Do we have any way of speaking to this thing?
wait, Nix, you're a spellcaster. Do you know about familiars? I know nothing about them. I just have a manservant. I don't need a familiar.
I do know about them. What would you like to know?
If Clara was dead, would her familiar still be around?
I mean, yes, a familiar is not called into existence. Familiars usually are already pre-existing creatures that are being called through a magical ritual. So they do exist before being.
Oh. Would
yeah.
they not be desummoned afterwards?
Not really. They're not summoned out of nothing. They actually come to the caster.
Oh.
You know, they make
see.
their way there. If you do the ritual and there's no feasible creature around, then nothing is going to come to bond with you. So, I mean, I'm not an expert. It's not like I know really that much. I wouldn't rely too much on my, knowledge about all these things, but that's how I would assume.
Clearly,
I do
you know more than me.
wonder, why did the familiar of the shop owner attack you? It could
Maybe
have
it's my
attacked
bright
any of us.
personality.
Well, you do have a bit of that going on, yes.
So
Usually
Izuul
not
is
the
a-
most popular person around. I'll get used to it.
All right. Izuul has taken the crow across the street in the cage and is like shaking it in front of them, trying to use the crow to like lead the way. We saw it fly to the temple, and so now I'm operating under the assumption that maybe it was trying to lead us there. So I'm like, all right, lead the way. And so I'm crossing the street, shaking this crow in a cage before me.
Excellent.
to
You
see
will.
If I can see if I can distinguish the commands of the crow.
You can get to the temple, and there is a cleric out, stepping outside as the sun is going down. If I can find my dice. A young boy, maybe 16 years old or so, dressed in the robes of not a cleric, of a priest, of an apprentice. He's got a broom in one hand. He's looking out at the night sky, ready to do his night shift job as Izuul approaches, the man with the bloody stumps for wings on his back, carrying a crow in a cage. And the little boy seems concerned by your approach, but greets you with a wave. Hello! I see you have corn in your hands.
I gesture out with a handful of corn kernels. Is he clearly referring to the crow?
He's looking at the crow when he says it. Yeah.
Oh, you know this bird?
Yeah. I've been caring for it while the shopkeeper's been away.
Oh.
You know, just throwing some food at it every now and then. Trying to take care of the cat too. But he bites me every time I try and get too close.
I set the crow down. So that's why she flew to you.
He shrugs.
I unlatch the cage and see what the crow does.
It hops out and flies up to the top of the steeple.
I like slowly let the kernels of corn slip through my fingers and fall to the ground in front of the temple.
Okay.
Do you know where Clara went? I asked the young priest.
I think she's dead. The mother inside held a small private ceremony for her. She said that Martha says this one is gone from the world and to be recycled anew.
Martha doesn't do the recycling.
That's true, but Martha is the one who does the creating, and thus she knows all of those who have passed to the other side. So she knows which ones to grab to make anew.
Sewell looks up to the crow on the steeple. So you've been feeding the crow and the cat.
Mm-hmm.
No thought to tidy up the shop or fix the door or the window? You just left it in a state of chaos? Do I see a symbol on this priest?
Yes, you see the crossed rings of Martha.
I nod and walk past him into the temple. Is it acceptable to bring like arms and armor into a temple? PCs do it all the time, right? Just walk into a temple in full plate.
I mean, no one's gonna stop you, but it's socially frowned upon to bring arms into a place of peace.
Yeah, maybe it's all.
Bellum's really happy about it, so.
It's probably mostly on the horse, anyways. Yeah, I don't know if okay. So I'll walk into the temple and find this. Find the cleric or the priest. And the party surely sees Iswell walk across the street with the crow, talking to a priest, and then going into the temple.
Yes, the priestess's name here is Martha, after the goddess.
Is she also a priest of Martha, or just a
Yes,
general
she is
priest?
Mother Martha, cleric of Martha.
That would be confusing if it was anything else.
A cleric or a?
Yeah, it was.
A full-fledged cleric, yeah. She is tidying up the shrines when you come on in, and she'll take a look back at you, and as she sees you make your way towards her, she gets to her feet, dusts off, and walks towards you, saying,
I approach.
fallen
Mother.
one.
Have we met? I look her up and down.
I have been told of you by the Great Mother herself. She has informed me of your presence here and warned me of your dangers. Are you here to do me in?
I smile. Every morning I pray to the mother to forgive me for the things that I must do.
You have more compassion than I was led to believe. What brings you here this evening?
The crow. Corn. I say after letting the dark omen hang for a second. Your boy tells me that you held a ceremony for Clara. Is she dead?
It is my understanding that she has passed beyond this realm and will
was
be
there a
made
body?
anew. No, not that I ever saw.
Then how do you know she's dead?
You speak with the divine as well as I do, right? You have had your
I am
knowledge
of the
and
divine.
I outrank you, sister.
In my prayers, my goddess asked me to see to the proper burial and ceremonial passings on of all those who fall here. And as a result, I have a record of all who live and die within our valley. Clara has passed on. And Martha tells me that she will be, in part, made anew in a short while. When the
Might
Lord
I see-
Astaire rises from or comes down to earth and brings with him a new populace.
Might I see this record?
She gazes at you to gauge your intent. I'm going to have her make a charisma check, which she passes. So what is your intent with this record?
I'm more curiosity than anything. I'd like to look
Okay.
at it. I would also like to look. I would like to look for a specific name. I'm not like.
Yeah,
Hello?
she can see that you are not malicious with this intent and will take you and any of your friends that have come into the room at the moment
Did
to
we
one
just
of
revert to a solo session? What's going on, guys?
Well, you wandered off on your own, so I was giving you time to breathe.
Yeah.
I guess
We're all
you
still
get
hanging outside the shop, right?
brought into this antechamber where there is a large tome resting on a Corinthian column that comes up to about waist height. The tome must contain some 7,000 pages that are each like this big.
What color is it?
The column or the tome?
It's gray.
Both.
Not
I meant the
brown.
tome, but
The tome is bound in brown rough leather. Not rough. What do you call the suede? Like brown suede on the outside. And the column itself is made out of a single piece of carved gray stone.
I put a hand on the tome and close my eyes for a second, feeling the power within.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe maybe some sense of familiarity.
There is certainly a warmth that emanates from it, a settling, a calmness, a close familial relation, sort of a sense of peace and belonging that comes from this tome, and a little bit of
Really?
sorrow, you know, kind of like the family that still lives at home even though you've moved halfway across the country and you don't really get to see them, but then when you go back to see them, it's like a wonderful time to visit them. I don't know if you can relate to that, but
Anyways, I crack the tome and begin rifling through it.
yeah.
Does it appear to be like a magic tome? Like, would the names come in here on their own, or this is just the cleric's records?
It's handwritten, it seems. The first few pages are filled with names of all the people who apparently live in Acropolis in the Valley, and then some of them have strikes through them, and you can.
Can I find June's name?
Yes, there is a strike through June's name, followed by a smaller handwritten June at like a bit of an angle coming off of it.
All right, and then Clara's name is somewhere here as well.
Clara's name is stricken from the record.
Interesting.
Give me an intelligence check.
Oh,
You do not see your name among the records.
that makes sense.
And
I
you
didn't think
got-
to look for it, but yeah.
it just happens to come to you, and you also don't notice Nyx's name among the records. But Kale's there, Manfred is there, and Abaddon is there.
Raekwon?
Raekwon
guess
is there.
I
Yes,
wouldn't go looking for him, but anyways, all right.
there's a small little heart next to Raekwon.
Did he sneak in and write it in, or did the cleric
Yes,
come?
it's very obviously in a different penmanship.
All right. I pause for a moment admiring this book, thinking of the power within, and I eventually will nod with satisfaction, close it, and leave.
All right, the cleric will tidy up behind you as you head back out to the rest of the party. What are the remaining four of you doing outside with the? You're not near the young boy, right? You guys were still over by the shop.
No, yeah, we're still by
Yeah.
the shop.
Okay.
I'm encouraging a discussion on where to go next. I'm starting to feel a bit antsy about Astaire coming to town. And I want to encourage everyone to get out. So I'm trying to, we can go and deal with the bandits, go to Hearthhome, see what's going on over there. You know, maybe they've got a magic shop that's not destroyed. Or if Kale needs to do more research on the ogres, you know, if that's still what you guys want to be working with, we could try and push through to the other side of the forest.
Well, I don't think we can go to the ogres directly because the ogres are. I lived among them for a little while. They eventually.
You lived
Oh,
among-
did you not know?
Kale? No.
Oh yeah. Well, you were out doing whatever you were doing. Nobody else was around, so I took it as an opportunity. Took some moonshine with me. Went and visited the ogres.
Sorry, I think I'm mishearing you here. Because I thought you said that you went and hung out with our sworn mortal enemies, the ogres that have destroyed our people since the dawn of time. But that can't be what you said, right?
I mean, the dawn of time is like 6 months. I don't see why we need to hold an ancient grudge here. We're the first of our kind.
Yeah, we'll be the last of our kind if we keep making friends with ogres.
I don't know. They were pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like, we might have to fight them again. It seemed like they were gearing up for something. But, the stars were right when I visited, and they let me live among them for a while.
How did you trick them into spending time with you?
I offered them alcohol.
Intelligent.
That is often the best way to get to know someone.
But
Yes.
the reason I bring it up is because the stars changed, and they eventually sent me away. I don't think they'll be particularly receptive to us tromping through the woods. So it might behoove us to sneak past them if we're going to go to the far end of the dark woods.
Oh, that's not very exciting, though. Come on, a little
Yeah.
back and forth with the ogres would be fun.
I'm done cowering. If we want to go into the ogre's forest, we'll fucking kill them.
Oh, I like these people.
But like I said, I would like to get revenge on those blasted bandits. But if you're all set on going into the forest, then I suppose I can concede. I'll turn to Nyx.
And
do you
she's
say?
gone. She's absolutely not there. She was just there a second ago, and there's just an empty spot. Nyx has moved back into the house while the discussion was going on. And she sticks, she looks around and tries to see if Pan is still around.
Yes, the cat is still munching on the food that you have left for it, taking his time.
And she puts one hand into her pocket with her tarot cards and approaches the cat, kneels down next to the cat, and whispers really, really quietly. And she says, "I've come back for you, you know." You don't hate me as much as the crow does. I wonder if you can just read me a little bit better.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
She puts one hand into the pocket and she pulls out a card and she says, so usually I'm not somebody who tries to attach themselves to people, but I would make an exception for you. And she turns around the card and looks like this. So if you don't have an image, it's a tiger in front of a moon with what looks like a crystal ball, a colored crystal ball. I've been looking for someone like you. And she kneels down and she extends like she leans forward a little bit and she does the thing. If you have a cat, you know what it is. She does the headbutt, like the gentle headbutt with the cat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I will use Find Familiar on Pan, which is something that a cat gets, like a witch gets it for free because they have an easier time finding familiars.
The cat reaches out with both paws, grabs the back of your head, and like pulls your head towards it, and then just like starts licking your forehead and your face and your hair in one spot. And at first it's nice, and then the roughness of the tongue becomes a problem as all the like dead skin gets scraped away, and it starts like making its way through the fresh layers of skin slowly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pick Pan up, and then gently place them, I guess, in my backpack so they can look out. You know, I open the flap and then I just have the cat sit there so they can have a look if they want to come with.
Okay. I do believe the full casting time is 2d12 hours, but we'll call this. Oh,
he can like that's not. I think it's the time is 1d10 until the thing appears. It's not Find Familiar. It is pull up. It's called. Where is it? It has its own. It's its own spell technically. It's called Secure Familiar.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Did you make this up, or is it in like the complete Witch's Handbook?
It is in the Witch's Handbook. The witch must merely concentrate for one turn if a suitable familiar is within 1 mile per level of the witch. So you could give me another one if you wanted to. It will arrive within 1
Comes back with a different cat.
Shows up like, hello, reporting for duty.
Exactly.
So,
So, you know. But it is 1 turn to cast.
Neil, how did she trick you into using a complete book?
I don't even
I
know.
copied it to him, and he said, yeah. And I was like, let's go.
Witchy
I
women.
think it helps when you take one of the not obscenely broken ones from the book.
Yeah.
You don't show up like who was it who brought that character who could shoot like 36 times a round?
Oh, in Demon's Run, yeah.
Justin with his like endless sling that had to
Yeah.
get broken. Right. Well, the party, it seems, is gathered together and ready to head back towards the other end of the valley.
Wait.
Or are we going after bandits?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I'm
need
sorry, I
to
thought there
decide
was a
that. We've
decision.
not all voted yet, so I think me and
Yeah, what
Kayla
happened to
vote.
the crow? Did it stay on the steeple, or did it come back down? Okay.
Oh, it's staying on the steeple, eyeing you all.
All right, Iswell will return to the party and tell them that it appears Clara is likely dead, recorded in Martha's book. The cleric also says that Astaire is coming and bringing with him fresh recruits for the valley.
All the more reason to
More
get out.
people. Yeah, I can't imagine what sort of creation Astaire will come up with.
Yeah.
Probably
you like
paladins.
Which one's the stair again?
Order.
Law and Order. What has Astaire ever created anything before, Neil? Does he have?
Generally, the elves are considered to be the creations of Astaire, though they are his perfect creatures who are timeless, perfectly ordered, always working together in harmony, working in balance with everything, taking the time to see the big picture. Clearly superior to all other beings, able to see
Yeah.
at night and day. Ugh.
Lame.
Lame.
So, Israel, thank God you're back. You can break a tie. Kale here wants to go to the forest. I say we go after these bandits. Raekwon, Israel, Nyx, you got a
I'm
vote?
enthusiastically in favor of all options.
I mean, I came back to stop the ogres, but it appears I'm too late. If the threat has been dealt with and the front secured,
Oh, temporarily. They'll probably be back in the winter. But we have time to build our fortifications at least, and we don't need to be around for that.
Yeah, we don't need to be around for that, exactly. That was so boring last time with that bridge. Can we not just leave that to somebody else? Nyx, what do you say?
I think as long as the ogres are not threatening us in that way, it's fine to leave them alone. I think we have enough time to venture back into the forest to kill them.
At a
Doesn't
later
mean I'm
date,
a
you
fan of hunting down bandits either, but I mean,
if the roads aren't safe, I squint my eyes at Abaddon. If you wish to exact your revenge on these bandits,
That's right.
I
The roads
could
most
be of
certainly aren't
service.
safe.
It is
Fantastic.
around now that stepping out around a corner comes an armed band of what appears to be 8 people, one of which is a cleric of Velthara. And the 8 folks produce clubs and some short swords and level them in your direction. One of them calls out, the cleric calls out in a clear voice, Abaddon!
You here for me? I'll turn to the group. Don't worry, guys. I've got this. Take a step
We
forward.
are here
are these
to
people?
reclaim your soul in Kale's name.
What?
And
Kale's right there. Kale,
with that-
you've got no claim on my soul, right?
we'll go to a break. See you guys on the other side.